Hi, my name is Karen August and I'm with the Greater Peterborough Chamber of Commerce, and I've been asked today to talk to you about networking. And the networking that we're talking about is good old-fashioned face-to-face human contact networking. You might think that in today's hyper-connected world of social media that you can do it through LinkedIn and you can do it through any of your social media channels. You can start a relationship online, you can bolster and continue a relationship online, but it can never ever replace the human contact. The first thing that I'm going to tell you, and you may have heard this before, is that you need a strategy. You can't just turn up, go to everything and expect great results. The first thing that you need to do is to start where you are. You might say, I really don't have a big network, what am I going to do? That you do have a network, you have friends, you have some business contacts, you have some mentors maybe who've helped you thus far. You can mine those contacts to see if they will let you into their networks and find out who they know and who they're connected to. Most people are glad to make an introduction if you just ask them. The second thing is to be choosy, and I'm going to tell you to do everything twice and go everywhere at least once, and then get choosy and decide which of those events is going to be the right fit for you. Where are you meeting the right kind of people? Where are the people that you want to meet hanging out? And how are you going to make a plan to get to know them? The next thing is to invest your time wisely. I heard somebody tell me the other day that time is the new currency, so spend yours wisely. Remember that with networking, relationships are built over time, not overnight. So you are going to have to create enough time in your schedule to go to business events, go to association events, go to every networking event that you hear about on the grapevine. You'll need to make time for coffee meetings, for lunches, and you'll also need to invest another kind of resource, a little bit of money. Not a lot, but you will need to perhaps attend some conferences. You're going to have to pay for those coffee and those lunches that you invite people out to, and there might be some membership dues for some business events in town as well. So know who you want to meet and why you're going. You've invested some time, some money. Presumably you've got a nice new shirt on, and what you want to do is to make sure that you know why you're going to the event ahead of time. So if you can, find out who's going to be there, and if you can't find out exactly who, then find out and figure out what type of people are going to be there. Are they the type of people that you want to meet with? First of all, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a new client? Are you looking for a supplier? Are you looking for someone to work with you? Are you looking for a mentor? You need to know that before you head out the door. And when you figure that out, you need to make a plan. Am I going to meet 1, 3, 5, 7 people tonight? How many connections am I going to try and make? How long am I going to be there? And what am I going to have achieved at the end of it? Set yourself some goals and you'll be surprised at how much easier it is to work the room when you know why you're there. If you can change your attitude as to why you're going to the networking event in the first place and change it from what am I going to get out of this, what are people going to be able to do for me, and switch it to who am I going to meet, how am I going to help them, and how can I connect them to other people that I know so that I become the linchpin of my own network and people start to see me as somebody who they want to connect with. So now I have some tips and tricks that people always want to know. The golden one that people want to know is how on earth can I introduce myself to people? What can I talk about when I'm talking to them? And how on earth do I say goodbye and end a conversation when I know it's over? So the first tip that I have for you is regarding how you actually go up to yourself and introduce yourself to somebody. You're likely to be moving into a conversation that people are already having, unless you've picked out a single person in the room. So let's assume that there's a couple of people, one of which you want to talk to, who are already having a conversation. Watch them for a few minutes and watch their body language. You're going to need to learn some very basic body language reading skills. The first one is pretty obvious. If they are standing talking and they are face to face, nose to nose, toes to toes, that's a sign that they are in a closed conversation and that they're very intent on what the other is saying to them, and they really wouldn't welcome an interruption at this point. So you just need to wait, hold back, And when that conversation is over, you'll start to see their body language change, and they'll start to move their toes away from each other. They will start to look out across the room instead of directly at one another, and then that's your cue when you see a little bit of space open up between them, that you can go in and introduce yourself to them. The second thing to do is, what do you say? How do you introduce yourself? You've probably heard a lot of people talking about getting that killer elevator speech, you know, the one that's just going to knock people dead. We could take an entire episode talking about that, but sometimes it's just easier to say, hi, my name is, and my job title is, or my business name is. But what I really do is help businesses, people do X, Y, Z. So just try that at home. My name is John Smith. My job title is road digger. But what I really do is help move the economy forward by moving people and goods around. Doesn't that sound better? Simple to do, and it'll give you a lot of confidence rather than trying to remember a carefully crafted elevator speech. The next thing that you want to do is you already want to have practiced some questions to ask people, some basic questions. You can keep them business-like. If it's a business setting, you can keep them a little more seasonal. But what you want to do is to start a conversation flowing. If you're doing all the talking when you're in a conversation with somebody at a networking event, you're doing it wrong. They should be talking to you. You want to learn about their business model, their goals, how they do what they do, who they know, and can you get to know them too? So you really need to make sure that you have practiced asking some great questions. The other thing you should already have practiced is some answers to basic questions that you'll be asked. So nobody catches you on the wrong foot with a question about your business. You should know everything absolutely off by heart. What you need to do is you need to be confident. So make sure you've got the spinach out of your teeth, that you don't have a dirty white mark on the collar of your jacket, that everything is looking good so that you have the confidence to go forward. A lot of people are nervous about networking, or they're not sure of where they're going and how to get there, so they want to go with a friend. And that's absolutely fine. In fact, I recommend going with a friend, especially at first. But make sure you don't stay together. Break up, go and have a chat to people, say, oh, you should meet that person, I just talked to them over there, or you should meet so-and-so. And then come back together, recharge your batteries, make a bit more of a plan. Remember, you should have a strategy. You should be knowing who you want to meet, and then go back out, knock them dead, and then come back together. You didn't come to drink cocktails and eat hors d'oeuvres with your friend. You came to work. And talking about hors d'oeuvres, don't stay at the buffet table all night. Some people will tell you it's a great place to meet people. It's a terrible place to be. You didn't come to eat food for free. You came to work. So peel yourself away from the shrimp and get out there and work the room. You'll have fun doing it. And remember, you're building relationships over time that in the end will add value to your business. Keep that in mind. So another trick that people always want to know is how to end a conversation gracefully. It can be difficult. You can tell if somebody else is looking to end the conversation before you are, because they start looking over your shoulder and sort of peering off over here and looking around the room. And so when you see signs of that, you want to end the conversation. But how do you do it? Well, the first thing to do is to remember that your business card is your best friend. It's universally acknowledged that when somebody offers you the business card, it usually means that this is the end of the conversation. Say, it's been a pleasure to meet you, but I feel that you should go and meet some other people in the room. I'll do the same thing, and hopefully our paths will cross again. Simple. So thanks very much for having a coffee with me and listening to what I have to tell you about networking. A lot of this is stuff that I've learned through bitter experience. So it comes from the horse's mouth. What we talked about today is that you really need a strategy for your networking. So first of all, start where you are, mine your own network of friends and acquaintances. Be choosy, go only to the events that make sense for you. You don't have to go to everything. Invest your time wisely. Similarly, you'll have to invest some resources wisely as well. Remember, you're not there to sell yourself or your business. You're there to meet with other people and build relationships over time. Be the connector. Become a linchpin so that you can create your own network. And finally, what everyone will tell you again and again and again is follow up with the people that you've made a connection with. Thank you.